Hello, I am the Next Generation Conservative, and welcome to my new web series, where I will be discussing the issues that are affecting America's youth. Today, I will be discussing what it means to be a Next Generation Conservative, and how the economic crisis is the greatest threat to our generation's future. Alright, so it's no secret that the current economic policies are not helping America's youth. The stimulus packages that were passed focused only on temporary jobs, not for long-term jobs or economic recovery. It's safe to say that the American Recovery Act was not something that was in the benefit of the American youth. And to prove that, the Labor Department now has come out with statistics that say 53% of recent college grads are jobless or underemployed. That's 1.5 million people with bachelor's degrees who are not working or making less than their expectations. Because of this high unemployment rate, those with professional skills and job experience are now accepting jobs that usually would go to college graduates. And that forces the college graduates to settle for jobs that usually would go to high school students, jobs such as cashiers. What this means is we are thumbing down expectations for our future. Statistics show that the higher your first salary is, the more money you will make. Those who have lower starting salaries tend to make less throughout their lifetime. According to a survey from Rutgers University, half of the graduates in the past 5 years say their jobs didn't require a 4-year degree, and only 20% say their first job was on their career path. A quote from Cliff Zukin, a professor of political science and public policy at Rutgers, says, "Our society's most talented people are unable to find a job that gives them a decent income. The jobs that once went to college graduates are now often going to older Americans. Over the past year, workers over 55 accounted for 58% of employment growth," says Dean Baker, a coordinator of the Center of Economics and Policy Research, a nonprofit think tank in Washington, D.C. So with college graduates settling for these jobs, that means they're going to not make as much money, which means they're not going to have the financial ability to pay off loans that they took out for college. And that means that we're going to head down the path to another economic crisis, that being the college crisis, which is already happening, I feel. It's just now a matter of time when it'll start to manifest itself even greater. If you look at it, if students aren't able to pay off their college loans, then they default. And defaulting at such an early age is not a good thing. And if future generations see college students not being able to get jobs after college, plus having them default on their loans, is going to make future students less likely to go to college, and that's going to cause a lot of problems for colleges as well. So as we can see, the current economic crisis is hurting the future of the next generation of Americans, us. The current challenges facing our generation is also now affecting some of the polls. Suffolk University reports that 40% of eligible voters are less likely to vote in this election. Of that number, 40% of them, if they ended up voting, would have voted for Obama, compared to 20% of that number that would have voted for Romney. The majority of that number were recent college graduates. Many of them voted for Obama in 2008. They were a large voting bloc for the president, but now they have come to see the true challenges that face them in the real world. It's interesting to notice the divide that currently exists. Is now a gap between those who are currently in college and those who are recent graduates. Many of those who are recent graduates who are searching for jobs, or who are in the job force but are consider themselves underemployed, are more likely now to vote for Mitt Romney, while those who remain in college tend to view social issues as more important, and therefore they are voting for the president. But that large gap in young voters spells trouble for the president, because recent college graduates was another voting bloc that went heavily for Obama and now has shifted towards Romney for the 2012 election. So it will be interesting to see how this plays out in November. So now I'm going to explain what it means to be a next generation conservative. I feel that the focus has to be on the economy. We have to focus on limited government in order to foster strong economic policies that will benefit our generation. After all, no one is coming to give us a bailout, nor should they. We have the power to succeed, but big government policies only hamper our success. When it comes to social issues, that's where we may have a few disagreements. I feel that maybe perhaps it is time to change course on a few social issues, and I'll have another discussion on that in another video for another day. But when it comes down to it, right now, the economy is essential. Social issues are not going to help prevent the upcoming college crisis. It will not make the situation of the recent college graduates better. That's why the focus for this election, for the 2012 election, must be the economy when it comes to our generation. There happen to be a few social issues that I disagree with Mitt Romney on. However, I also feel that it is more pertinent that we get Americans back and working. And when it comes down to it, a businessman has more experience in job creation than a community organizer. So we'll have these conversations in the future. We'll have conversations on what social issues need to remain in the Republican platform for our generation and what social issues need to be adjusted and changed. But for right now, for 2012, the focus is the economy. After that, we can open up the discussion when it comes to other issues. Finally, our generation will have to be even more ambitious than ever. If you are not a go-getter, you really are going to struggle. But hang in there, we are all in this together. And in the end, we will succeed, and we will be viewed as the beacon for all future generations. So that's my video blog for today, and I hope that you'll stay tuned, subscribe, and give me feedback. This is my first video ever on here, so be gentle in your criticisms onto my technological skills. But hope you enjoyed it, and keep fighting. And feel free to send me questions, and I will hope to, I'll try to answer them for the next time. In the future, I also hope to have debates on here with other individuals. So if you're interested, please let me know. Would be glad to have you on. And thank you, and keep up the good fight.